Hello, my name is Ryan Green at Green HSC. Today we will go over a introduction into incident investigations. Over my career, I've seen a lot of shortcomings in incident investigations. This would include not gathering enough information, only conducting RCAs on significant injuries like OSHA recordables, only conducting RCAs when people feel like it, not identifying the root cause, not implementing a corrective action, or just not following up on those corrective actions. So today we will cover a response, the tools needed, effective interviewing, the documentation. We'll briefly discuss root cause analysis, but we'll have more in a separate presentation. And we'll talk about some corrective actions, legal factors, communication and follow-up, the continuous improvement aspect, and then we'll close away with some key takeaways. Let's start out with the immediate response to an incident. The first step we want to do is assess and contain that incident. Identify that mechanism of injury. Could have been a ladder, a forklift, could have been one of the machine or some chemicals. This is a really important part because we want to make sure that that scene is safe. Ensure the area and the others are safe by eliminating that hazard. De-energize equipment and evacuate the area as needed. Call emergency medical services if needed, and then follow any written emergency action plans and documented safety procedures if they apply. It is critical that you do not put yourself in danger or put any other people in danger in the attempt to rescue others. If you go into a confined space and you notice that people are unconscious, do not go into that confined space. That is one example. Ensure everyone on the scene has their appropriate personal protective equipment. Obtain medical treatment. If necessary, provide immediate care to EMS or a medical facility. You may have a medical facility on site. Do not hinder any emergency medical service efforts being given on site. And then ensure that senior management has been notified. And in some cases, you might need to notify facilities or security that outside EMS is coming in on site so they can allow that EMS to provide care. And then secure the scene, preserve the incident area for investigation, barricade, put up some tape, and do not allow any other people to walk through any spills or blood or any potentially hazardous areas. Once that scene is safe and the person has received the care that they need, that's when we get into the investigation mode. The first step is to interview the employees who were injured or nearly injured. Collect the details and ask for a written statement. This should include the time and date of the incident, a detailed narrative of what occurred, description of any injuries that were sustained. Document any noticeable changes in their mental status. In some cases, companies may require post-incident drug or alcohol testing. This step should ideally be completed before sending the employee off-site. If the employee is transported off-site for medical care, gather other relevant information and conduct interview once they return. Next, gather statements from witnesses with first-hand knowledge of the incident. Ensure each witness provides their statement individually and not as a group. Additionally, interview area managers and supervisors for a broader perspective of what happened. Finally, thoroughly document the scene. Take photos and record notes on the environmental conditions and any equipment involved. Collaborate with security to check if video recordings of the area are available. Let's go over some tools that you may need in your investigation kit. The first one is a camera for documenting the scene or evidence. You may be at a workplace where a camera is not allowed. Make sure you go through your security to make sure you find the right camera or the right equipment to be able to document. You also need some forms. You may need an investigation form. You may need workers' compensation forms. You may need just a blank piece of paper. Whatever form your company has created or whatever form that you'd like to create for an investigation kit. You may also need barricade tape to secure the incident area or just a way to barricade that area. For inspecting dark areas, you'll need a flashlight or any kind of tool that you can use to illuminate that area. Of course, you're going to need writing and measuring tools. You may also need measuring tape. Bring a couple pens or pencils just in case you need to have multiple people write incident reports. Finally, you may also need personal protective equipment. You may need safety glasses, a hard hat, a vest. You may need safety shoes. So make sure you have all the personal protective equipment that you'll need ready to go so you're not hunting them down before the incident occurs. The interviews are one of the most critical parts of an effective investigation. First thing you would want to do as a safety professional is set the tone. Conduct the interviews in a quiet, private place. Remain calm and pleasant, even if the other person is not. And sometimes that other person may not be very pleasant at all. Keep that person on a fact-finding track. Emphasize that you are there to find facts and not find fault in that person. Remember that this is not a time for a root cause analysis, you're only finding the facts. And then listen actively. Take notes and do not assert your opinions. Ask open-ended questions. Avoid asking those leading questions that may get the employee or yourself to draw conclusions. Remember, you're not doing a root cause analysis just yet. Avoid that confirmation bias. That's a tendency to favor information that confirms your strengths or others' beliefs. Finally, you're going to clarify and confirm. Ask follow-up questions. Reflect back on information to assure accuracy. Be sure to ask what they know about the policies, procedures, and training related to the work that they were doing. This may be important for the root cause analysis. If policies and procedures and training exist, ask if they are clear and understandable. Ask if they were followed. If not, ask why not. You may also want to ask other employees in the area if they would have made that same mistake too, or if they knew that policies and procedures existed as well. Once all the necessary information is gathered, create a detailed incident report. Include the relevant photos, your timelines, the witness statements. The report can be completed using a software program, a spreadsheet, or even just handwritten, depending on the organizational preferences. A well-documented report serves as a foundation for understanding and addressing that incident. Next, form the investigation team. This team will help identify causal factors and answer questions related to the incident. The team size can vary from just 2 people to a larger group of subject matter experts depending on the complexity of the incident. Finally, evaluate your organization's existing processes. Identify any gaps in those written programs or job hazard assessments. Determine if there was a failure to follow any established protocols. Review chemical safety data sheets and manufacturer information for equipment as needed to identify any potential risks. This step ensures that corrective measures addresses not only immediate causes but also systemic issues. Finally, once we have all the information we need, we can start our root cause analysis. First step is we may want to choose the method for our RCA. We may need to identify the best methods for that root cause analysis. This could be a 5Y, 3x5, fishbone diagram, FMEA, post-incident trees, human factors analysis, or a combination of all those methods. We're going to dig a little bit deeper into different root cause analyses in a different presentation. You may also want to use some continuous improvement methods such as DMAIC, affinity diagrams, Kaizen, or protocharts. Next, remember to think critically. Conducting a thorough root cause analysis requires experience and discipline. Dig deep and keep an open mind. Don't stop at the first explanation. For example, if a machine malfunctioned, ask why it malfunctioned. If a worker made a mistake, investigate why the mistake occurred. Do not accept that it was just a fluke accident. Next, consider multiple factors. Equipment, environmental, people, and management may all contribute to the incident. An incident is rarely caused by a single factor. Use a fishbone diagram or a similar tool to systemically brainstorm potential contributing factors. Consider human factors as well: fatigue, distraction, lack of knowledge, and then also ask why they were fatigued or distracted or had a lack of knowledge. Consider your environmental factors like poor lighting and hazardous materials. Consider equipment factors like the malfunctioning of equipment or improper design. And also consider your management factors, inadequate safety factors, insufficient resources, or insufficient people. Avoid blame. Focus on the systemic issues, not the individual fault. The goal is to prevent future incidents, not to assign blame. Focus on those system failures rather than individual errors, and that will make the investigation more effective in revealing the underlying problems and preventing reoccurrences. Document facts objectively and avoid making value judgments. Of course, there are some incidences that are due to malicious acts, recklessness, or negligence. This may be apparent if policies or procedures were knowingly broken. Avoid going down the rabbit hole as well. During this phase of the investigation, it's crucial to avoid getting sidetracked. One can focus too much on one factor and miss others. This is especially true when confirmation bias is present. If needed, assign a subject matter expert to investigate a specific factor. When working with a team or a member, that person or that team may waste some time with ranting or pontificating or offering unhelpful opinions. Make it clear early on that the focus is on fact-finding and pragmatic causes. Don't hesitate to cut long-winded speeches short and restate your expectations. Identify the root causes. Determine the underlying issues that lead to the incident. The root cause is not just the immediate cause, but the underlying reason why the incident occurred. Progressively drill down to the root cause. Once identified, focus on developing corrective actions to address it directly. In this section, let's focus on the key steps involved in implementing corrective actions to address the root causes of the workplace incident. The first step is to develop specific and measurable solutions. Each solution should directly address the identified root cause. For example, if inadequate training was an issue, a solution could involve creating a comprehensive new training program for personnel. If equipment malfunction was the cause, solutions might include purchasing and installing new equipment, performing preventative maintenance, or enhancing the inspection tools. Use continuous improvement methods like Plan, Do, Check, Act, or DMAIC to guide that process. Solutions may be practical, feasible, and impactful. Next, assign clear responsibilities for corrective actions. Designate individuals or teams to oversee implementation. Ensure they have the required authority, skills, and resources to complete their tasks effectively. Provide clear communication channels for the reporting, progress, and addressing challenges. For example, you may address a project manager to implement a training program or a maintenance team to inspect equipment regularly. Accountability is key. Establish realistic deadlines for implementing corrective actions. Timeliness should account for the complexity of tasks, resources, availability, and dependencies between the actions. Use project management tools to schedule tasks and monitor the progress. Break actions into milestones to track success incrementally. For instance, a training program might involve milestones like curriculum development, pilot program implementation, and the full rollout. Finally, track and evaluate your progress. Monitor your key performance indicators, conduct regular audits, and gather employee feedback. Assess whether the corrective actions have successfully mitigated risks and make adjustments necessary. For example, post-training evaluations can gauge the effectiveness of a new program, while equipment inspections can track maintenance and impact over time. Ongoing evaluation ensures that the solutions remain effective in the long term. By identifying solutions, assigning responsibilities, setting timeliness, and conducting follow-ups, we ensure that corrective actions address root causes and promote the safer workplace. A couple of legal and regulatory considerations. OSHA reporting is a big one. Record your work-related injuries on your OSHA logs, report severe injuries within the required timeframes, and also file your claims with workers' compensation, provide all the documentation that's needed, and retain all of your records. Retain these documents for as long as the company has a policy for. This includes emails, meeting minutes, and any other investigation documents that were included. This can be very important information during future claims, OSHA investigations, or if you have to do a legal interview. It's also important to make sure that the information is confidential. Protect any sensitive information, personal details, medical information of those involved in the incident. Communication and follow-up. Make sure that the management is updated by providing regular updates and investigation progress and findings. Inform the employees as well. Share relevant causative factors, corrective actions, lessons learned, and it's important to be transparent in those findings. Support injured workers. Follow up with affected employees, assist them with their return to work process, and then review the effectiveness of those corrective actions. Adjust your approach and pivot if needed. Finally, the importance of investigation is also in continuous improvement. Analyze the patterns and trends across multiple incidents and identify common factors, injury causes, and injury types. This may help you for years and years of building strategies for safety excellence. Update your procedures, revise your policies and procedures based on the investigation findings. Enhance your training, incorporate lessons learned into the employee safety training. Online training might not be effective, so hands-on training may be a better approach. Training must be specific to the workplace. Monitor the progress, track safety metrics, your leading and lagging indicators to measure improvement over time. Make adjustments and pivot as needed. Thank you for joining this brief introduction into incident investigations. Our next presentation will dig a little bit deeper into the root cause analysis and what kind of root cause analysis that we can use. Some of our key takeaways is to conduct a thorough investigation, document that investigation effectively, conduct your corrective actions, and then make that a part of your continuous improvement plan. Finally, I want to leave you with the thought of conducting investigations on more than just serious injuries or OSHA recordable injuries or significant near misses. Make it a part of even first aid injuries, and that can create a more healthier and safer workforce.